it's Mrs. Heitkamp, and today we're going to do a science experiment to review the scientific method. So first, we're going to think about our objective question. An objective question is just what we're exploring, what we're trying to figure out. So our question today is, what do you think will happen if we light a paper towel on fire, stick it in the bottle, and place an egg on the top of the bottle? So that's our question. Now we're ready to make a hypothesis. A hypothesis is the word that means a prediction for what we think is going to happen in the experiment. A hypothesis is something that we can test out, and it's the thing that we do test out in the experiment. So we'll see the answer in just a little bit when we test it out. But I want you to think about your hypothesis. What do you think is going to happen? We'll come back in just a minute to find out. Hi everybody, I hope you had a little bit of time to think about your hypothesis. We're going to go ahead and go on to the next step of the scientific method, which is the procedure. We're going to carry out some step-by-step directions to do our experiment to test out our hypothesis that we made earlier. So since we are lighting something on fire, I'm going to put on my safety glasses so that I can stay safe. And one other safety precaution we need to take is to make sure that we can put out the fire if something goes wrong. We hope that it doesn't. But I have a bowl of water here to help me with that in case there's a problem. And I also know where the fire extinguisher is in my house, which is also close by, just in case something happens here that we don't intend to happen. So I'm going to go ahead and light my paper towel on fire and drop it into the science flask here and put the egg on top. Let's see what we get. All right, so the flame is burning, and then the flame stopped burning, and we see something happening with that egg. Okay, so I don't know how well you can see it, but the inside of the egg kind of came apart from the outside of the egg. There's a hole there with the egg. So the inside went into the jar. If you can see that, the inside went into the jar, and then it kind of left the outside shell on the outside. Now it doesn't always happen that way. Sometimes the whole egg will go into the jar, but that was definitely a neat way to do it. So the reason why that happens, let's talk about that. So, well, first, okay, the next step of the scientific method would be the data. This would be where we would record what happened. Maybe we would draw a before picture and an after picture. Maybe we would record the amount of time that it took for the inside of the egg to get sucked into the jar. We record some kind of data. And then after data, the next step of the scientific method is to make our conclusions. So let's think about what happened. So the egg got sucked down into the jar, at least the inside of the egg. Again, we still have the outside here, but the egg got sucked down into the jar. Let's think about the reason why that happened. So when the flame was inside of the jar, the air inside the jar was heated up. Air is a gas, and when a gas heats up, the particles expand. When the flame went out, then it cooled down a little bit. And when the gas cools down, the particles contract, and that's what sucked the egg in. Now, the reason why the flame went out is because for fire to burn, it not only needs a fuel source like the paper towel, but it also needs oxygen. And by putting the egg on top, it made a tight seal, blocking off all the oxygen. And so the oxygen was used up in the jar, the egg got sucked down because of that difference of air pressure. So I hope you enjoyed this experiment. I thought we'd try something with eggs today since it's close to Easter. Have a great Easter, and we'll see you soon. Bye.